Hello, welcome back. Today I'm at the Hill Cemetery in Lakewood, Colorado. It is a Jewish cemetery. Behind me here is actually the main section, which is still active today. However, we're going to be exploring the north section of the cemetery, which is referred to as the Hill. So come along with me and we'll check it out. Alright, this is the area called the Hill. So you can see on the other side of the street over there is the main section. And then this side to the north is the whole section, which is referred to as the Hill. So it was originally established in 1915, and the last burial was in the 1980s. And in 1995, the Hill was listed on the National Register of Historic Places. So this is one of only 3 Jewish cemeteries nationwide with that distinction. So this section is a little bit different looking than the main section down that way. And also, just so you guys know, this entire cemetery is private property. Now, the main section is open to the public during the hours, but the Hill section here is locked and you need an appointment. So I did call this cemetery beforehand and set up an appointment, and they unlocked the gates for me and let me come in here and film. So that's very nice. But if you look at the records, there's almost 800 people buried here, but there's actually only around 200 tombstones. So most graves are unmarked, unkept, and then some of them got vandalized over the years. And you'll see, like, this section over here by the fence, a lot of the markers are just these metal markers, which of course have been rusted over the years. You can't really read them anymore. There's no longer any plaque, so there's a bunch right here on this side of the hill. Yeah, so we're just gonna be exploring this area and kind of checking out the tombstones here. So here's some more metal plates here. And I noticed there's a huge section here without anything really. So I'm guessing there's probably a lot of unmarked graves in this area that we don't know about. I know there are actually lots of volunteers that come in here to try to help with maintenance. And there's also a lot of volunteers that are trying to find out where the unmarked graves are and who the people are here. So this whole cemetery was built for Jewish tuberculosis victims, many who came from Eastern Europe in the early 1900s for the Colorado cure. They said Colorado could cure tuberculosis because of its sunshine, fresh air, and that you can get plenty of rest here. So yeah, the Colorado climate here was viewed as ideal for curing tuberculosis, and the patients would often be rolled outdoors in winter to breathe in the cold air here. There's some more little plaques over here. But the Jewish tuberculosis patients went to one of two sanitariums in Denver, the National Jewish Hospital and the Jewish Consumptive Relief Society. Both sanitariums needed a cemetery, of course, so Golden Hill here was the result. Now, for the first few years, all tuberculosis victims, rich and poor, were buried in the main section over there across the street. And then those financially less well off were mostly buried in unmarked graves. So in 1915, the poor ones, so to say, began to be buried over here at the hill. And they did that at first so they wouldn't infect those buried in the main section. So according to records from the Jefferson County Historical Commission, burying tuberculosis victims on the hill was a way to segregate them from the general population, since it was believed back then that people even visiting a cemetery could contract the disease through the deceased. Looks like there was a picture there at one point, but it looks really scratched off, or I don't know. Yeah, that's too bad. Now they say this section only gets mowed about once a year, just because there aren't any funds to keep up with general maintenance. So that's why there are a lot of volunteer groups trying to help this place out. And yeah, it's not the fault of the cemetery for sure. It's just most of their budget goes to maintaining the main section over there where active burials are still taking place. And then when this section started back in 1915, you know, this was more of an area to just put the tuberculosis patients. So it wasn't really intended, I think, to be a great memorial spot for them, more like just a place to put them. So ever since then, it just really hasn't had the funding to keep up with everything. And the director of the cemetery here has said, you know, it would take $250,000 to try to come in here and fix things up a bit. And so yeah, they just don't have the money to do that. Which is kind of sad, especially since it is a National Historic Place. So. They do have a place on their website where you could donate. So I will definitely link that in the description if you guys want to share and help out. I told them today that I'm also going to make a donation. It's because I'm very happy that they let me in here to look at it. It's pretty cool. This one looks a little newer. You probably had this plot earlier. Yeah, it looks like the husband died in 2020, so they probably had the plot beforehand. That one's neat. The other side over here. Oh wow, 18 and 19. Yeah, so most of the dead buried here were men. Since Jewish cemeteries until the mid-20th century were segregated by gender. So many here are young, in their 20s and 30s. These guys are really young, 18 and 19. Here. So records show that families with money spent between 30 cents and $1 for a burial. But if burial expenses weren't paid for, and graves were marked with those temporary metal plates we saw earlier, which you saw many of them have been rusted or kind of destroyed now. Way over here by the fence. Let's see if I can get it. That's pretty. Some just more metal plates. So thank you guys for watching. If you are new here, I go and visit cemeteries and graves and kind of talk about the history and stories. Eventually I will be traveling out of Colorado once things get a little more safer and nicer, so. But please subscribe. It will really help my channel out to grow. And if you're a returning user, thank you so much. I really enjoy you guys watching. I notice this coming in. There's a little Dr. Seuss book here, so maybe this is an unmarked grave here for someone. Let's see. And yeah, it is hard to imagine 800 people buried here because there definitely aren't that many tombstones. So there are more, a few more up here. Sorry, it's really close to a busy road, so you might start to hear a bunch of traffic. This one looks really interesting over here. That's a pretty nice one. Lewis Stain, October 1st, 1907, June 28th, 1936. Beloved son and brother. He was very young. Oh, here's a really nice one too. Busy street over there. Oh, this one still has a picture. Age 23. And this one has a picture too. Oh, there's a really nice one up here. There's a really cool picture up there too. And I'll be about 1904-1935. Here rests the body of my dearest and most beloved wife, for which her spirit and sweet memories will always be with me, John. That's really nice. There are some really nice headstones here. I know this place kind of gets a bad rap when you look online about the condition, but you know, to be honest, I was expecting a lot worse. Because I think it looks pretty nice. Of course, you know, they might have been working on it with the volunteer efforts, so I think down here is a World War II veteran, so we'll go check that one out. Chaplain, Colorado, PFC, U.S. Army, World War II, June 5th, 1908 to July 31st, 1960. That's pretty cool. Well, thank you for your service, Harry. Yeah, I'm sure there is a many more graves in here that we don't know about. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy getting to explore the Hill Historic Jewish Cemetery. Again, remember, if you do want to come visit this place, make sure you call ahead and get an appointment. And also, I will link the page if you would like to donate. Please like and subscribe for some more videos, and I will see you at the next grave. Thanks.